Maduro is finally gone in Venezuela. People are free. They're free again. It's been a long time for them, but they're free.
First, at 6 o'clock, explosions erupt in Venezuela. This is the scene after the U.S. military strikes the capital city of Caracas and captures the president. Good evening, and thanks for joining us. I'm John Perrick. Early this morning, the U.S. carried out these strikes on the capital city. And let's take another look at that video. Explosions shook Caracas just before 2 a.m. local time in Venezuela. The blasts also reportedly knocked out power to several neighboring areas. A little while later, President Trump announced responsibility for those strikes, and that Venezuelan president, Nicolás Maduro, has been captured along with his wife. They arrived in New York around 5 o'clock today to face drug trafficking charges. President Trump indicted Maduro during his first term. As of right now, it's unclear if anyone on the ground was hurt or killed in this morning's strikes. We do know several American service members were injured when their helicopter was hit during the operation. President Trump said during a press conference today that the U.S. will run Venezuela until a transfer of power takes place. Now, I want to bring in our national correspondent, Christine Frizzau, and NBC 10's Nicole Mader to help us continue our coverage tonight. Let's send things over to Christine on Capitol Hill for a deeper dive into the timeline.
A series of explosions in the middle of the night, followed by the capture of Venezuelan leader Nicolás Maduro and his wife, Celia Flores.
This operation, known as Operation Absolute Resolve, was discreet, precise, and conducted during the darkest hours of January 2nd and was the culmination of months of planning and rehearsal.
President Trump sharing this photo of Maduro on board the USS Iwo Jima en route to New York, where he'll face multiple charges outlined in this indictment, including narco-terrorism conspiracy, cocaine importation conspiracy, and possession of machine guns and destructive devices.
He is a fugitive of American justice. You have a guy who decides he's going to invite Iran into his country, is going to, do the confiscation of American oil companies, is going to flood our country with gang members.
Perhaps most shocking to the world, this announcement by the president.
We're going to run the country until such time as we can do a safe, proper, and judicious transition.
President Trump suggesting Secretary of State Rubio and Defense Secretary Hegseth will help, working with a group inside Venezuela, making clear the transition involves oil.
We're going to take back the oil that, frankly, we should have taken back a long time ago. A lot of money is coming out of the ground. We're going to get reimbursed for all of that. We have to be surrounded by safe, secure countries. And we also have to have energy. Very important.
Democrats slamming the announcement.
This is insane. What the hell are we doing? I mean, we've got a lot of problems in America today, and invading, occupying, running Venezuela does not solve any of them.
President Trump and his team made clear they did not notify members of Congress before the attack. They say out of fear of leaks that could have endangered the mission. Top Democrats, meanwhile, are warning the operation sets a precedent that could make it more justifiable for countries like Russia and China to oust leaders of countries they dislike. I'm Christine Frizzau reporting.
And several hours after the strike, the State Department warned American citizens in Venezuela to shelter in place. The U.S. has warned Americans from traveling to the country now for months. Those warnings after strikes on suspected drug boats from Venezuela. The FAA has also issued an emergency order to stop any flights over Venezuela because of the situation. Now, our Team 10 coverage continues right now with local reaction to the strikes. Our Nicole Mader is live in Providence after speaking with both local leaders as well as covering a protest. Nicole.
Yeah, that's right. I spent the day today talking to people all across Rhode Island and Massachusetts about how they feel. Just a couple of hours ago, the streets behind me were packed with hundreds of protests saying the United States had no business getting involved in Venezuela. But not everyone was so displeased with the administration's actions.
People united!
Hundreds of Rhode Islanders protesting in the streets.
US out of everywhere!
Upset with the Trump administration's bombing of Venezuela and capture of President Nicolás Maduro.
I think everybody here is saying it loud and clear: no war in Venezuela, stop the bombing, and invest in people's needs at home.
Priorities are all wrong. We're not focused on poor and working people in the state, so why would we even pretend that we have business going into another country?
But not everyone opposes the administration's action. Carlina Velasquez is from Venezuela originally. Now she's living in Massachusetts. She says she is happy with the administration's move.
We don't really care about the opinion of people that said that we are being invaded now, because we already were. And we are very happy and very, very thankful with the administration that took action to help us to be free.
Supporters say it's in the national interest that Maduro has been removed. John Laughlin, a Republican candidate for lieutenant governor who served in Iraq, agrees.
What we do know is that Maduro was indicted, lawfully indicted in 2020, and that he's finally going to be brought to justice, and that's a great thing for America.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio says the administration did not notify Congress until after Maduro was captured.
There's just a lack of, where's Congress?
And protesters say they're frustrated that the Trump administration made a decision they don't support.
This is just an unpopular thing, and they need to start listening to the people. Their job, they're working for us.
NBC 10 reached out to Representatives Magaziner and Amo, as well as Senator Jack Reed. They provided statements condemning the administration's actions. Senator Reed writes, "This has been a profound constitutional failure. Congress, not the president, has the sole power to authorize war. Pursuing regime change without consent of the American people is a reckless overreach and an abuse of power." The Venezuelan woman that I spoke to, Carolina, said that she is comfortable with the United States running the Venezuelan government in the interim. Long term, she said that she hopes that the leaders of the opposition political party, will eventually gain control of the government, they're currently living in exile, and she hopes to return there once it's safe. Live in Providence, Nicole Mader, NBC 10 News.